Hello and welcome to today's pre-market trading session or video. And before we dwell into today's video, I hope all who watched yesterday's video made a quick buck. This is as I had covered HDFC Bank and Reliance, and HDFC Bank performed exactly as I analyzed, and Reliance also performed exactly as I analyzed. So anyone who watched that video will have done well. And if you did not watch the video, then do watch it still, as yesterday's pre-market video on HDFC Bank, I covered what is going to be happening also in the coming sessions. So it's not a one-off video, and it will let you trade the July series of HDFC Bank in a very profitable manner if you follow what analysis plus data is given in that video. Now, Reliance, I had said yesterday after the market that I'll be covering it again today, and that is the case. So in today's pre-market video, we'll take a look at the news which is going to affect the market in general, after which we'll take a look at Reliance Industries, and we're also going to take a look at Bharti Airtel. Now, coming to the news which is going to affect the market, there is not much on the international front that is going to affect the market. And when I have flicked through Twitter and other social media, I've seen that the Indian news channels are starting to play the whole thing that yes, there's a rate cool-off in USA. The hope has been dimmed of all people that there's going to be any change in rates. But now I believe that is just they're filling space, as they have to put something. Why I say that is when we look at everybody knows the rates of how it's going to be, and the markets across the world have accepted it. So any thing about rates right now should not affect markets more than, let's say, 5 minutes. Beyond that, no. Then, so on the local front, there's only one news that is relevant, which is on the basically telecom sector. This is as there was an auction spectrum, and that has not gone that well for the government. In fact, it's gone horribly for the government. I say that as the recent 5G spectrum auction fell terribly short of expectations. This is as it raised only 12% of the government's target. This is as the government had put up for sale 96,238 crore worth of spectrum, and the companies only bought 11,340 crore. So they only bought 12% of what the government wanted to sell, and that is not good for the government coffers, but it's actually good for the companies. This is as why I say that, because number one, the low demand was due to the companies already holding enough spectrum, so they don't really need much more. Plus, Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea will want to focus more on renewing the expiring licenses and adding some extra data capacity rather than spending on spectrum, which is not really a necessity. Right now, they have enough. Plus, Vodafone will not go nuts into spectrum spending, as they already have a lot of debt issues, and the Vodafone infrastructure on other sides needs improvement, so they would rather put the money there than hand it over to the government for something they don't really need. However, even though there were low sales in this auction, this is not a reflection on the sector, as I believe the sector is still going to do very well, or the telecom sector, and some of the reasons is number one, it's quite evident that there's going to be a 15 to 20% hike in the tariff rates for internet and everything in the coming months, so that will lead to more earnings for the basically telecom companies. Then the financials of Airtel and Vodafone Idea naturally will reflect that again due to the tariff hike, and then there's a potential positive impact, this is not a guarantee, from the Supreme Court verdict, which is most likely going to be in favor of Airtel and Vodafone on the adjusted gross revenue case. So that is going to be another positive. So I believe the telecom sector will continue to do well, and this huge shortcoming the government has faced in 5G spectrum auction is more of a reflection on the government rather than on the telecom sector, as they were trying to oversell while it was clearly evident that that level of demand is not there. Now, coming to Airtel and Reliance Industries, I'll cover Airtel first. Now, I've covered Airtel. I'm not looking at it on the daily chart. I'm looking at it on the 3-hour chart, as I'm covering what an option buyer should do with Airtel and what an option seller should do. I'm covering the stock version and not the FNO version for only one reason. Number one, today is the monthly expiry, so June series anyway ends and July series starts. So these prices can be largely transcribed onto the July series and traded with. So now what do I see with Airtel? Now with all that has gone on in the Spectrum auction, Airtel yesterday was a big mover and today can also be a big mover. However, it will depend on certain things. Number one, it will first depend on how Airtel deals with the simple resistance, which is the high of yesterday. This is the high of yesterday, roughly 1480 we can say, as 1479.75 is going to be very important. It's going to hold the keys. If we manage to break above this high, then there's a high likelihood that Airtel will be able to rise to the next important resistance zone, which is between 1520 and 1540. So as an option buyer, if we break 1480, then I'll be looking for a long until 1520 to 1540. Now on the long side or on the short side, even as of now, I will focus on Airtel more on intraday trading rather than positional trading. Why I'm saying that is this is a reaction to the news. It's not something that has fundamentally changed in the company. We're just reacting to the news, and once we reach this zone, this is a very strong resistance zone. If we break this, then maximum we can go up to 1575, after which we will have to have a pullback. So now again, how is an option buy I'm going to trade Airtel? If we break this, then I'm going to go long towards here, and if we reach this point, then I will become an option seller. Not for the full month. I'm not aiming to hold it until end of July expiry, as I don't think anyone should do that, because we also have the budget coming in July, and it will make any option seller who tries to hold it for the whole period go basically nuts. So if we reach this point, then for a short time period I will prefer to sell call sells above here, as I believe they will end up earning some money instead of the money just lying free. They won't earn a fantastic profit, but they'll earn normal gains for option selling. This is any move above this will not last long. As if we hit 1575, then there will be a sharp reaction to come down, and that's when any option seller above this will make money. On the other hand, if we are unable to break 1480 tomorrow, then this zone between 1445 and 1480 is not an easy trading zone for option buyers. This is as the trend will not be very clean in this place, and hence due to that, if we look at the thing, option buyers should only aim for a short below basically 1445, and that initial target to be 1425, and then if that breaks, there's a major support breaking, then the short will be next target is 1390 and 1370 and 1360. So as an option buyer again, if you break 1445, so we'll hit the main support, which is 1425. That is a very strong support, and if you break that, I believe you can touch 1360 and 1370 easily, with 1390 being like a candle body and this being the wick zone. So that is how I'm going to be trading Airtel. As an option seller, I'll focus more on calls, sells, and as an option buyer, I'll focus more on shorts, unless we break 1480. That's when I'll take it up until there, then I'll again start looking for shorts. Now when we come to Reliance Industries, now Reliance Industries will go back to the daily chart. This is Reliance Industries did very well yesterday, and in yesterday's video I had said that do not short until 2880 breaks. This zone is the no man's land. We can get a zigzag move, and if we break above this zone, then we can go towards the resistance which I had provided. Now for tomorrow's trading session, Reliance is going to be now approaching, since we have looked at the day chart, Reliance is going to be approaching a major resistance zone. Number one, it has reached sort of its all-time high now, and this is going to be a major cluster of fighting, and if we break this, then we have a major resistance zone at 3060. So according to me, Reliance is again a better candidate right now for day trading rather than positional trading. On position, on let's say option selling, yes, you can do it, but you have to be very fast. As if by chance we end up breaking 3060, then I believe we'll go to 3120 to 3140. So as an option seller, an option buyer, different perspective. If you break the high of today, then you can go long until 3060, but that's not going to give you much money. If you break 3060, then a long until 3120 to 3140 can open up. If we try to touch these zones, this is when I'll come an option seller and sell calls above this point, but not again for end of month, just for a short period of time to make some money, not expiry level money, but some decent amount of return. On the other hand, if we get rejected at this zone, then I believe we will get not a clean shot, but we will end up falling back to 2975. And if we break that, then we have broken again a major support, and we'll be coming back into this box range that we were stuck in for quite a while, and back to 2880 as a target. 2920 is a support, but I don't believe 2920 will be able to do that much justice if 2975 breaks, as 2880 will pull the index back, as it has saved us. In yesterday's video, as 2880 was not even highlighted initially in yesterday's video. I had initially highlighted it in last week's video, and we have seen it has worked this well. So that is it for Reliance and Bharti Airtel. If you liked the analysis, then do hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you.